Man, why's this guy gotta be going so damn slow? Christ, we're only going 10 over the damn speed limit, and I just beat my wife and I gotta get to work. I couldn't get up 5 minutes earlier, because that would have, got in the way of my beauty sleep. I gotta get to work. Come on, man, let's get this thing moving. What the hell is your problem? Got here is a new tailgate for this thing, because I have an idea and I don't want to cut up my nice original tailgate. So got that at the old pull apart, about 65 bucks, not too bad. I'm gonna get this home and see what we can do. Should be interesting. All right, so we're here at the first Hardly Great, picking up something from my little project. Stopping at the Sonic to get breakfast. Then we're going to head on to another Harbor Freight to see if I can pick up some more somethings for this project. We'll get there. All right, Hardly Great location number 2. Going on. All right, so you're about to witness the birth of what might be the most ignorant thing I've ever conceived to rectify a problem that I have occasionally on the road. I don't go that fast. And I do my damnedest to stay the hell out of everybody's way. I stay in the right lane, I stay behind trucks, I do whatever I can. But people around here tend to think that if they park up my rear here so I can't see their headlights in my rear view, that's going to make me go faster when I'm in traffic, or if there's like other lanes open that they could be using to go around my slow ass. But they just don't seem to get it. So what we have here is another tailgate for this truck, because I don't want to cut up my nice original one, and 3 52-inch light bars. 12,000 lumens apiece. So what I'm intending to do is cut this panel off, or open it up, slot it, recess these down into the tailgate so it still opens and functions, and then obviously set that up with a switch on the dash so that if somebody gets too far onto my nerves, I can at least allow them to know that they're getting on my nerves. So that's the intent of this mess, and that's going to be what we're going to be doing here. I'm going to be cleaning this thing up, because this tailgate, this is the best one I could find as far as condition. They were all pretty well beat up at the pull apart, but it had been on a truck and somebody had torn a transmission completely apart down to the nothing on sitting on it when it was like this, so it is coated in transmission fluid and goo and all sorts of stuff, but it's not terribly beat up. It's a little bit beat up internally, but not bad. This one's perfectly straight everywhere, so I don't really want to mess it up. And so that is my game plan for the next day or two, is to figure out how to mount these 3 lights in this tailgate, and then wire it up so that the tailgate can still open and function. Probably have to bring the wires out down here somewhere and sneak them back around or down under and run them up into the cab. I have no idea how many amps this stuff's going to pull. We will find out and wire it accordingly. One of them I bought was cheaper than the other ones because it was an open box, kind of beat up. So we got to test this one immediately and see if it works. Otherwise I'm going to return it and tell them it was junk. So there you go. That's my plan for this weekend, is to create the Tailgater High Beamer Retina incineration device and set it up in the back of this thing. If I've ever built anything that's going to get me arrested, it's going to be this. So we will see how it goes. Alright, well, I'm testing the one that was in the open box. It seems to function perfectly. Everything seems to be here. The wiring is rather impressive. Comes with sealed Deutsch connectors and nice switch, which I'm going to eliminate and put my own in there. Another nice connector. Its own relay, positive and negative with a fuse. Very impressive. And then we just do the boink and, alright, I'm blind. Oh my. I can't see. Yeah, that's going to be something. So, whew. Yeah, we'll get 3 of those mounted across the back of that new tailgate. And then figure out how to get all this wiring hooked up. I'm so happy that it comes with this much wiring. I didn't know what it was going to be, but that's really good. And, oh yeah, that's just silly. So, and this isn't going to be for long-term staying on either. So I think what I can do, I guess I can go get an amp clamp and see if this actually, how many amps this is pulling, to see if I can just have them all on one set of wires, or what'll make sense for running them all the way to the back to the tailgate. So I'm going to go grab my amp clamp and see what we got. Alright, we got it running. Now let's zero this out. Good, about 14.7 amps. It's got a 30 amp fuse in it. And that's with the truck running. When it was down, when the truck was off, it was pulling closer to 20 amps because the battery voltage was low. So yeah, we're gonna be looking at about 15 amps, so about 45 total amps, maybe 50 amps total of light. This shouldn't be too bad. I'll definitely have to set that up to be fused properly, obviously, and then we're going to go from there. But yeah, this is coming together. So now the fun part is I'm going to have to start cutting up the tailgate and cleaning it and then cutting it up. See how I want to mount these things, because I want them to be high enough out in the gate that they don't impinge on the bumper when I open the tailgate, because I still want the tailgate to work like a tailgate. And if this comes out looking halfway decent, I'll most likely take it all apart, take this whole thing apart, and then sand it all down and prime it and just give it a coat of the standard Ford white so it doesn't look ridiculous with a red tailgate on the back of a white truck. But yeah, gonna be good. She is so gross. You. Missing a couple of screws here. I guess I could have stolen a few of those off of some other ones, but I got the other junk truck in the back, which might have a couple I can use to finish that out. A little bit banged up, not quite as flat as mine in here, but we'll get that front panel off and beat the tar out of this thing, flatten it out so I can mount those lights properly inside. So first thing I'm going to do, go get the Torx bit and take this panel off so I can see what kind of a disaster lies underneath. Really not bad, all things considered. Yeah, it's been badly bedlined because they didn't take care of the paint before they did it. But again, it's just it's for making a fool of myself, so it's not really important. So we're gonna go get the tools, try to take that stuff apart. Filthy. Clank. But the mechanism's all there. Somebody's been here before. Got some zip ties holding that together. No biggie. Missing some fasteners. No, actually that's where those bolts go. So that's alright. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad. So we're gonna get some degreaser and douche this thing down and try to get it cleaned up a little bit so we can start making a plan. Wonderful. I gotta stop messing up the camera. All right. Well, the first part of this disaster is done. Fairly clean, certainly less greasy. And let those dry off a bit. Then try to make a plan as to how we're going to do this. First thing we'll do is get it mounted up on the back of the truck, take some measurements, see what we're going to do, and then we're going to go from there. So that will be coming up next. The other thing I got while I was there was a couple of these things, because this one is kind of shot and it doesn't hold the tailgate closed terribly well anymore. I noticed when I was taking these off that this is just real sloppy loose and can be put just about anywhere, so I'm going to get a little marker and make a little mark around that thing so that when I remove it I can get this one at least back kind of in the right spot. Super sloppy, and that can pretty much go anywhere. Cool. That one's real nice. This one, I can actually adjust it a little bit, I think, because this one's pretty good, but I think I'm going to push it in just a snot, and that should hold that tailgate real nice and snug. Oh yeah. Panel gap. Not bad. This ain't no Tesla. Yeah, cool. So now that I'm about to take that off, I finally fixed it so it won't rattle. Perfect. Anyway, on with the show. Alright, well I think the first thing we're going to do is get the original tailgate off and then get the new one on, see how everything looks, and take some dimensions, make some marks, and probably start cutting. Still drooling oil out of everything in there. Good Lord, what a mess. I'll have to clean it up better once I get it opened up, because it's still full of oil on the inside, apparently. And we're going to go from there. Getting these tailgates off is pretty simple. You basically just pop these off, then you lift it up to about here, and you can pull that off just like that, and then it pops out. So that's what we're going to be doing. All right, tailgate is on. Fits pretty good, a little squeaky, but that's just function of this bushing in here is kind of dry. I'll grease that up. You can see where this one's been a little bit dinged in, dented in here over the years. It's going to be usable. I may take this off. There's some clips inside here. You gotta compress to get that out of there. I don't want to break them, so I'll probably just leave it for now. But I think what I'm going to do now, this is down, I'm going to make a couple of marks under here at about the farthest stick out point of the bumper. And see what kind of dimension that gives me, because I'm going to need, these are a little over 3 inches wide. I'm going to need about 10 inches or better of clearance in there. How did I do that? Oh, there's a tape measure. And I can't really go above this because that's, you know, all internal, that's where that stuff mounts. So it's kind of limited by that. Yeah, it's only 9 inches. So I'm going to end up having to come down a little bit further than that and get into the bumper, but that just means I'm going to have to completely French in or recess these lights inside of this so they don't extend past this surface. I think it's possible. We're going to see. I'm going to make a line across this, maybe a half inch, quarter inch, 3/8 inch down from that, and start cutting. We're going to take the top out, notch it down here at some level at the width, because these are 52 inches wide, I guess, plus or minus. Floppy tape measure. Yeah, right at 52 plus, and you got to add the mounts, which is more than plenty to get in here, side to side, because the tailgate is, I don't know that it's quite 60, it's actually 63 3/4, almost 64, so plenty of room that way. And then we're going to see what we can do. But yeah, we're going to put a few marks on that thing across and start hacking. Not a fan of eye protection because I sweat so much, but it's cold today, so this is probably a good use for some. Alright, this is going to take forever, and this is cold because of the air expanding. That's pretty thick. I'm going to see if I can come up with a little bit quicker way to do that. Alright, let's try this. Loud noise warning. That's much more effective. Alright, now I need to get my actual measurements down so I can take this out, because that was pretty quick. I just drilled a hole on this end here and got that in there and zip. So, neat. Alright, be back in a minute once I take some measurements. Alright, I think we got the dimensions set. There she is. One open hole. That was silly. That was a nice tailgate. Feel like we got a bunch of crap we're gonna have to cutout in here, although that looks like it's spot welded. So not quite sure what that is. Yeah, so this brace, which I've basically cut all the way to the end of, it just barely goes under that. That was just for the glue, for this foamy garbage. That's spot welded, so I'm going to get my spot weld cutter out and just bang through all of those and pull that. And then we should be able to see what we've got. Looks pretty good, although it's gross. I don't like it so far. So we're going to get the old spot weld cutter out and yeah, buzz through all of those. That's going to pop off. And then we'll be in good shape. Alright, well, the old spot weld cutter, seam splitter, and she's out. Not too bad. Garbage in the pile. The only thing I'm going to have to do is get in here and re-weld this up a little bit just to stabilize the bracket that holds the hatch, but that's not going to be a big deal. Everything else went pretty good. Poked a hole in here, my first one, when I was not quite used to it, but we're just going to grind those clean a little bit, and that should give us enough room to do what we want to do. Things a little flexible, but not something I care about in the grand scheme of this mess. So that came out all right. All right, and that's the Roto-Broach kit. Works real well. You can just drill them out or grind them out, but this worked quick. Just center punch it and zip, and they're done. So. Okay, now we're gonna clean that up, maybe pop the welder out, tack this back in, and see how big a hole I can blow in that, and then go from there. Alright, got my little piece of junk cracker box. Boogered that in there good. So now that ain't gonna go anywhere. I cut the piece off of the brace because it wasn't actually welded. It was just welded to the brace. That piece was not welded all the way through. So I just cut that out, cleaned it up, hammered it flattish, stuck it back in there, and boogered it in. So now that's handle's going to be stable anyway. This is a little floppy, but oh well, such is life. So yeah, now we're getting down to it. Now I think I'm going to take some hammer and a piece of board maybe and just pound this side down a little bit because it's a little bowed in from where it's been worked from the outside over the years. And then it's just put the light bars together and screw them in and see what we can end up with. Getting there. Alright, so after a little bit of cleaning and straightening and welding and cutting and pasting and stuff, I got a little more room in there than I thought. These are going to recess brilliantly, which is nice. Very nice. They're all going to stay well under. I beat out the back of the tailgate a bit so it's a little more square. So now we're just going to mark my holes. Rubber mount them, of course, because they came with rubber pads. You got to do that. You don't want these to vibrate. You know, this is important. And we're going to get these things mounted. It's looking pretty good. Not too bad. Everything's metric, of course. These little button heads and whatnot's all metric, but no, looking pretty good. I think we're almost there to get them mechanically mounted. I'm probably not going to wire them up until tomorrow because it's getting a little late. I've had a few other things to do today, and I got some other stuff to do. But yeah, I think what I'm going to do for these, I'm going to enlarge this hole and run these wires out this side of the tailgate down in here, and then that'll get them out this side. I can run it under the car up to the battery on the same side as the battery, and that should make things as easy and have to do a little less splicing. But we're getting there. She's coming. All right, we got them all mounted. Sort of square. Don't know how they're aimed, but that's probably not relevant right now. I had a little hole in this side, like I said, that has been enlarged to get those out over there, which works nicely. Nothing too dramatic. Everything in here looks pretty good. So now we're going to mount it on the truck, see what this mess is going to look like. All right, well, that's not light anymore. But she is certainly attached. The wires run, they're not clamped. I'm going to run those underneath the bumper here and start heading them forwards. And this idiocy is about mechanically complete. And then it's just running the wires and maybe cutting up that tin to make some little riveted in escutcheon plates on each side, just to cover up the screws. Nothing special, but yeah, we're getting there. This stupidity is coming to fruition. All right, so you can see that this is about where I get angry at people when they're this close in traffic and won't go around. If I'm doing 10 over the speed limit already, back off, because I ain't going any faster. Or if I'm in a place where there's multiple lanes, pick another damn lane and go around. There's a limit. So let's go see what that looks like from the other truck. Now, that looks kind of ridiculous, but if you see that, you're probably going to wonder what in the world is going on. So, let's go up there and flip these bad boys on and see what we're going to end up with here. Oh my God, I cannot see anything. Holy crap, good Lord. Okay, this is bright sun daytime. I think I may have gone a little overboard. Holy crap, that's bright. That is a little ridiculous. Okay, but I bet it'd work. Oh my goodness gracious me. That is something. And it actually lugged the engine when I turned it on because the alternator started having to produce another 50 amps worth of light. Good night, that's vicious. Okay, this might have gone overboard just a little bit. So we're going to go shut that off and see if I can regain my sight. Holy smoke. Okay. All right, that's enough fun. All right. So I think that'd work. But obviously, I may have gone a bit overboard on this one. I don't think I'm going to use this because it might be a little aggressive for what I want to do. But I got another idea, and so yeah, you're not going to see this on the road. Obviously, YouTube's good, all in good fun, and yeah, I'm not taking any responsibility if you choose to copy any of this and do get arrested or cause an accident, because even during the day, like this is bright sun at noontime, you can't see. The people behind you will not see anything. So at night, this is a death ray. This is an absolute death ray at night. So I'm going to recommend against this. It works. It will absolutely get the tailgaters off your ass, but yeah, I don't think you're going to get away with claiming that's a set of backup lights. if the cops see it and want to stop you. But man, not bad. It definitely works. But okay, we're going to take this off of here, go back to a little more normal, and I got another idea that's probably a little bit more legal and a little more subtle for getting the tailgaters off my ass, and that will involve modifying my original tailgate. So we'll be back once we've gotten this stupidity taken off the truck. Okay. All right. Now we got a big washer and a plastic stop nut. Crank that down real good. Make sure that stop nut is well seated. That ain't going anywhere. That's a little more subtle. I think what I'm going to do is tack weld this so this can't unscrew. And then there we go. So there is your tailgater elimination device. And that one I don't think is going to get me arrested. And it shouldn't cause any accidents. But anyway, I'm done. I've had fun with this mess. It's kind of a joke. But I really wish I could do this, because man, these people drive annoying. But anyway, I hope you all are doing well. It's a nice February day down here. Not too much going on otherwise. Had some fun this weekend building this mess. So, don't do this at home. I really don't recommend it. Although, hey, if you really need backup lights, this is the setup for you. I hope you're all having a good day. Take care.